Axopar's most popular models have been the sub 30-foot boats. And in this video, we're going to be describing the differences between the 28 Axopar and the all-new 29 Axopar. So let's have a look. So we're going to start forward on the bow of the 28 Axopar. And I've got to say the 28 Axopar is a fantastic boat. Axopar absolutely nailed this boat, and we have many customers that absolutely love this boat. And what's cool about both of these models is how Axopar has made it easy to get from the pilot house forward onto their boats thanks to these full walk around side decks. But with the 28 Axopar, they have a L-shaped seating here, which is a very comfortable seating area. You have an option to put a wedge-shaped table in here, giving you some alfresco dining options as well. And you can also put a full filler cushion in this space as well if you want to do some lounging. As far as accessing the storage that's underneath here, the storage here is really great and quite long actually. So we have these latches underneath the cushion here that you need to untwist to be able to open it up and get access to the storage area. And this goes from here all the way forward to here. So a good 6-foot span or more sort of space, and it's relatively deep as well. So in this storage space, you have that filler cushion that I talked about for the lounger forward here, and you've got the tabletop as well. And this is a nice place to just store extra gear. You also have some access to your shore power cords, your batteries and whatnot. And for the anchor locker access, that's through this hatch right here. For the 28, you have a single basin, deep anchor well, and this particular boat has the optional anchor windlass. And with this anchor windlass, it's really just a space for anchor, rode, and extra chain. So you also have your controls here for your windlass, and that's what this space is dedicated for. Now let's go take a look at the 29. For the 29 bow seating area, first off, they've built in a bunch of volume, and I'll show you why in a little bit with the head area. But you're a little bit higher up, and the bow area, if you look compared to the 28, the bow is a little bit higher on the 29 than it is on the 28 Axopar. And part of the reason for that is for Axopar to create more volume underneath my feet here. Another thing that Axopar has done with the 29, they've made the ability to have a U-shaped seating here. And how they were able to do that is they've carried the beam of the 29 further forward versus the 28, and they've added a little bit more bow flare up forward here to accommodate for this seating as well. So with the several design tweaks, they've been able to incorporate quite a bit more seating, and we can sit up to 7 people around a table. You can see how a wedge-shaped table can also be situated here as well. Similar to the 28, it can drop down and be a filler cushion if you wish. Quite a cool seating arrangement, and also with the ability to have this forward-facing seat as well. Easily sit another adult here, another adult and a kid. So you've got a forward seating option in addition to the seating areas here. So Axopar with the 29 has dialed in this bow area quite a bit to accommodate for more seating. They also tweaked the access to some of the storage underneath. Now this storage isn't as long, right? So this is probably, I would say, more like 5 feet of storage length here, but still is a nice storage option. And you also, mind you, have storage right behind me as well. Rather than getting into the clips by getting your hand in between the cushion, they've added the latches just right here, so you can just lift right up just like that. And because you've got a little bit more beam here, this forward section has a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more beam to it. So this storage area is a little bit wider. This one is probably a little bit shallower and not as long, but still you can put a bunch of gear in here too. As far as your anchor locker access, you can see how the hatch, again, just much more beam forward here. The hatch is a bit larger, and you can see how they've had more of a separation between your anchor windlass and available extra storage in here. You can see how we haven't set up the chain or the anchor quite yet. We just got this boat off of a ship. There's definitely more volume in this anchor locker. Back on the 28 now, the head is accessed right through this hatch here with a door that's hinged outboard. Getting down below here, you've got a step here. You know, I'm 6 foot and I can't sit up quite straight underneath here. You do have some storage outboard here. You've got some hooks outboard for hanging up your jackets and whatnot. There's a little sink off to starboard here. So this is a space that certainly checks the box for having a freshwater good head on board the boat. And for the 29, what Axopar wanted to do with the head area is make it more of a multi-use space, to be able to be a utility space with more storage, or another option for a place to sleep on board the boat as well. So to get to this space, there's a hatch that hinges up. But before I do that, you can see, compared to the 28, there is this extra volume here, which is giving you that extra headroom down below that you really don't have on the 28. So you can just lift this hatch up here, and to get down below, you have some steps to take you down in. And to get access to the head, you can lift this up, and here's your freshwater electric head underneath here. And very cleverly, Axopar has created a sink that just drops down right here, which is really quite clever. I really like that. In general, there is just, there's more headroom. I can sit straight up here. A lot more space in here. And this can also convert to a berth as well. And converting this space to a berth is really quite simple. This set of steps just hinges down, flips out, and then the cushioned area fills in this space. So it's very easy to convert this into night mode if you choose to use it that way. But if you have no interest in using this as a sleeping space, you can have all these cushions be removed, this be more dedicated to a head, and extra space for bags and machinery and storage. Moving from the head on the 28 aft to the pilot house, you've got these nice side doors to get you access right to the helm seat. And I just love this aspect of these boats, to have a full pilot house, full walk around side decks, sliding door next to the helm. It just empowers the helmsman to be able to run the boat solo without any of the help from his guests. And I just love that about the Axopar. And the driving position of their boats is fantastic. Stand at the helm, with this bolster here, everything's just really nice and close. And when you're underway, the ergonomics are fantastic. Of course, if you choose to sit while underway, that is well situated as well. So you can stand, you can sit, and everything is in nice proximity to you. You do have good headroom when you're standing up. I'm 6 foot, and I've got, I'd say, probably 3 inches above my head right now, so plenty of headroom. You're never standing up like driving a boat like straight up like this. This happens to no boater. When you're underway, you're leaning back on the leaning post. You're taking all your weight off of your feet and putting it on the leaning post here. So this is kind of your driving position, and it's just fantastic. You also have another seat here for your companion seat. And then getting aft on the boat, you can see how there's a step up here, and there's also a step up on the port side as well. So you step up to get to the aft area, and this is a full beam bench seat. So you can easily fit 5 adults on the 28 very comfortably. And underneath these seats here, you've got a sink and a refrigerator. That's also very clever and easy access. Refrigerator's off to port, so the helmsman doesn't need to get out of the seat if you want to grab a drink. And you've got a space for a table back here if you want to dine in the pilot house as well. Gaining access to the aft cabin is quite simple as well on the 28. What you do is you just lift off this bottom section and flip this up here, and you've got these 2 latches to secure the seat up on the top end, and then you've got a 3rd latch just right here, and that gives you easy access to the aft cabin. Getting below, you just got this footwell, and this is a nice and cozy spot to sleep. You can see some of our videos on all the details of the aft cabin for sleeping, but I love that for the 28 you have this option to be able to sleep on board the boat. 29 has that, of course, as well. That just makes the versatility of this pilot house Axopar under 30 feet so incredible. sleep on the boat. You can carry 5 people in the protection of this pilot house. You have a head on board the boat. You have a diesel heater on the boat. You have a refrigerator on the boat. You've got outside lounging space, inside lounging space. It's incredible what Axopar has done with these boats. But now let's go have a look at the pilot house of the 29. Accessing the pilot house of the 29 is very similar. As I walk aft into the helm seat, I do have that gradual downward grade into the pilot house here. When Axopar has these steps down into their pilot houses, they have this on the 28, the 29, and on the 37s as well. They are just obsessed with weight placement on their boats, because they are a driver first boat and they are so focused on the vertical center of gravity, because that has a profound effect on how the boat rides and the comfort level with the customer. The lower you are to the water, the more comfortable you're going to be, because there's less of a pendulum effect. But standing at the helm here, very similar ergonomics as the 29 in the sense of you can stand up. I think I had 3 inches above my head. So they have raised the headroom up a little bit on the 29. And just looking forward, there's much more boat ahead of me. You can visibly see the extra beam that you're getting on the 29 by virtue of them trying to create all that extra volume. So this does feel, because there's more beam, it feels like a larger boat. But you have the similar ergonomics like the cleat right next to the helm here. Absolutely killer. Your throttles, everything is really close. You can easily sit down here. You got your footrest and fantastic ergonomics as well. I cannot stress how amazing running boats these are. Something that with the 29 that Axopar has done, you still have a step to, if you're going to get aft from the helm side, you have a step up. Reason why you have a step up here is because they did increase the fuel tank to, I think, around 105, 110 gallons from 74 gallons. So they dramatically increased the amount of range on board the 29, but they did eliminate the step up on the port side, so you can just easily flow back without having to step up and down to the aft seating area. You have this full bench seat here, so 5 adults easily can sit in here for sure. They did change the mullion location of the 29, which was right here, and they've pushed this mullion further forward. So when you're back here and you're looking around, you've got a fantastic panoramic view. I'll shut this door just so you can see what I'm talking about here, but you've got this tiny little mullion here. So when you're sitting back here, you feel like you're outside. You do not feel like you're in a cabin, which I think is a very special part of the Axopars. But it was clever for Axopar to shift this mullion forward to give you even more visibility back here. It did increase the visibility from the helm as well when you're looking at the corners of your boat while docking. They also did ease up how you get access to the aft cabin as well. You've got just this one clip here. So it's sort of a single step process. You can just lift this up here and clip this clip right here. So it's a little bit easier to get down below for sure. And it's a similar ergonomics in one just as the 28 was as far as getting down below. They did add an additional window right here for the 29. So you've got a little bit more light coming down in here. You've got some more pockets right here. And at footwell, they did create a filler cushion. So you can choose to use this as a footwell or extra storage. And then this filler cushion can fill this space to make it a undisturbed berth back here as well. With the aft cabin on the 28, you do have this wonderful lounging area back here, which we also have a seat back, so it is a great place to sit back and relax. You have this little extra coverage right here to get your face out of the sun. While underway or at rest, this can be a really enjoyable place to sit on board the boat. While underway, you are blocked by the wind from the pilot house. When cruising around at 35 knots, it is a little bit nicer to be back here than it is up on the bow, because that's a fair amount of wind coming at you. You do have a nice walkway from port to starboard here in front of the engine. Of course, just like all other Axopars, you've got nice line and fender lockers on the corners here. Similar to the 28 with the 29, this ends up being another great lounging area. Bolster back here is a little bit larger. This is very similar ergonomics, I'd say. They did add a couple of cup holders here and whatnot, which is kind of nice. A little bit more of a covered hardtop, but all very similar ergonomics for sure. One thing that Axopar did do with the aft cabin section on the 29 is they made it available to also open up this whole section to store stuff in here, which is a really clever idea. Customers do sleep back here. It's a great option, but also customers are finding themselves just using this aft space for bulk storage. This gives you a little bit more accessibility to put gear back in here without having to get into the cabin. So I think this is a really clever setup that they did. These fender lockers are larger in volume than on the 28. I would say you're splitting hairs. It's not too meaningful, but it is a little bit bigger of a space. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough tour of the 28 versus the 29 Axopar. Two incredible boats. If you want some more information on the Axopar line, please click the link above my head to head to our website for more information.